Ladies, it's time we have a real conversation, one you might not like to hear at first, but it's the one you need to hear. It's time to stop being a stupid woman. Before you get defensive, let me tell you what I mean by stupid. I'm not talking about your intelligence. I'm not talking about your education, your career, or your abilities. I'm talking about the times you've let your worth get tangled up in lies. The times you've let the wrong people, the wrong voices, or even your own insecurities convince you that you are less than what you were created to be. Stupidity isn't a lack of knowledge, it's a refusal to act on what you already know. You already know you're worthy. You already know you've got strength, intelligence, and beauty. But when you let self-doubt run your life, when you let toxic relationships define your value, when you keep settling for less than you deserve, that's when you're being stupid. Stop listening to the wrong voices. Some of you have been letting people who don't even like themselves tell you who you are. You've been taking advice from social media influencers, magazines, and even that so-called friend who's more interested in your failures than your growth. Why are you handing over the pen of your story to people who don't care about your ending? Stop letting other people's opinions dictate your self-worth. God didn't create you to live by their standards. You're living for a purpose higher than likes and comments too. Stop playing small. Too many women are living their lives as if shrinking themselves makes them more lovable, more acceptable, or more manageable. Let me tell you something, you weren't made to fit into someone else's expectations. Stop apologizing for your ambition. Stop watering down your brilliance because it makes someone else uncomfortable. If your dreams scare people, good. If your success intimidates people, even better. You're not here to play small. You're here to take up space and make a difference. 3, stop giving your heart away to things that break it. Some of you are pouring your time, energy, and love into things that were never meant to sustain you. That relationship you keep going back to, even though it hurts every time, that's not love, it's self-sabotage. That job that steals your joy and leaves you feeling empty, that's not where you belong. You don't have to stay in places where you're tolerated instead of celebrated. You don't have to keep giving your heart away to people and things that don't treat it with care. 4, start walking in your power. The opposite of stupid isn't smart, it's wise. Your wisdom isn't just knowing better, it's doing better. It's recognizing when you're in a cycle that's breaking you and choosing to step out of it. It's refusing to settle for a life that's less than what you were created for. You have the power to change your story. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now, but now it starts with a decision. It starts with saying, I'm done being stupid. I'm done letting fear hold me back. I'm done letting other people define my worth. I'm done settling for anything less than what I deserve. 5, remember who you are. You are a woman of strength, a woman of resilience, a woman of purpose. You are not defined by your past mistakes. You are not limited by your circumstances, and you are certainly not powerless. Stop being a stupid woman. Start being the wise, powerful, unstoppable force you were always meant to be. Your life isn't waiting for someone else to fix it. It's waiting for you to rise up and claim it. Now is the time, not tomorrow, not next week. Stop waiting for permission to live boldly. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to step into your purpose. The moment is now and the power is already in you. So stand up, speak up, step up. Stop being a stupid woman and start being the extraordinary, empowered woman you were born to be. This speech is bold, engaging, and direct, designed to challenge and inspire your audience to step into their potential. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments. Here are the 5 keynotes of the speech. Stop listening to the wrong voices. Don't let others' opinions or societal pressures define your worth. Take back control of your narrative and live for a purpose greater than external validation. Stop playing small. Refuse to shrink yourself or downplay your ambitions for the comfort of others. Embrace your brilliance. Take up space and unapologetically chase your dreams. Stop giving your heart away to things that break and avoid pouring your time and energy into toxic relationships, unfulfilling jobs, or pursuits that diminish your value. Invest in things and people that uplift you. Start walking in your power. True wisdom lies in taking decisive action to break unhealthy cycles, stepping into your potential, and making choices aligned with your purpose. Remember who you are. Recognize your strength, resilience, and purpose. You are not defined by your mistakes or circumstances, but by your capacity to rise and reclaim your power. These points encapsulate the transformative message of self-empowerment and taking charge of your life. It's easy to let the wrong voices seep into your mind and dictate how you see yourself, your life, and your potential. Every day you're bombarded with opinions, criticism, and expectations that subtly or sometimes not so subtly shape your decisions. These voices can come from anywhere: family, friends, society, social media, or even from within your own mind. But not every voice deserves a seat at the table of your life, and the ones that don't align with your purpose or growth must be silenced. The problem is that we often don't even recognize the wrong voices because they disguise themselves so well. They show up as concern, advice, or even love. Someone says, I'm just looking out for you, but what they really mean is, I'm projecting my own fears and limitations onto you. They say, you shouldn't aim so high, and while they might sound practical, their words are dripping with their own insecurities. And before you know it, you're carrying someone else's doubt like it's your own truth. Some of the loudest wrong voices come from the culture around us. Everywhere you look, there's a message telling you how you should look, act, or live. It tells you that you need to lose weight, gain followers, get married by a certain age, or achieve a certain level of success to be considered worthy. And the worst part, these messages are relentless. They don't stop when you log off social media or turn off the TV. They linger in your mind, quietly whispering, you're not enough. But let me tell you something, you are enough. Not because of anything you've achieved or anything you've done, but simply because you exist. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Their wrong voices will try to convince you otherwise because they thrive on your insecurities. They feed off your doubts and keep you trapped in a cycle of trying to earn approval that you don't even need. The truth is, the wrong voices will never stop unless you make a conscious decision to stop listening to them. That doesn't mean they won't still try to speak, but it does mean you don't have to give them power. You have the authority to choose which voices you listen to. You have the power to decide whose words carry weight in your life. For some of you, the wrong voices have been speaking over you for so long that you've started to believe they're your own. That little voice in your head that says, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, might not even be yours. It might be the echo of something someone said to you years ago, a parent, a teacher, a friend, or even a stranger. And instead of rejecting it, you've internalized it. You've let it become a part of your identity. It's time to identify those voices and call them out for what they are, lies, because that's what they are. Lies designed to keep you small, to keep you from stepping into your purpose. Lies meant to hold you back from the life you were meant to live. But calling out the wrong voices isn't always easy. Sometimes they come from people we love and respect. Maybe it's a parent who always told you to play it safe, to stick to what's practical, to avoid taking risks. Maybe it's a friend who's quick to point out the flaws in your ideas, but slow to celebrate your wins. Maybe it's a partner who says they believe in you, but constantly undermines your confidence with subtle comments. It's painful to realize that people you care about might be contributing to the noise in your life, but recognizing it is the first step to freedom. It doesn't mean you have to cut them off completely, but it does mean you need to set boundaries. You need to protect your mind and your heart from anything that doesn't align with your growth. And then there are the voices within you, the ones that tell you you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. Those voices are often the hardest to silence because they feel so personal. But just because a thought pops into your head doesn't mean it's true. You have the power to challenge those thoughts, to replace them with truths that uplift and empower you. When you stop listening to the wrong voices, something incredible happens. You start to hear the right ones. You start to hear the voice inside you that says you can do this. You start to hear the voice of truth that reminds you of your worth, your strength, and your potential. And those voices, the right ones, will drown out the noise of the wrong ones if you let them. But it takes intentionality. It takes choosing every single day to tune into the voices that align with your purpose and tune out the ones that don't. It takes surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, who speak life over you, and who challenge you to be your best self. It takes filling your mind with words, books, and messages that inspire and encourage you. And it takes courage to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you. Courage to stand firm in your convictions even when others don't understand. Courage to believe in yourself even when the world tells you not to. The wrong voices might always be there, but they don't have to control you. You have the power to rise above them, to let them fade into the background as you step into the fullness of who you were created to be. So stop listening to the wrong voices. Start listening to the truth. Start listening to the voice that says you are enough, because you are, always have been, always will be. Too often we live our lives shrinking ourselves to fit into spaces that were never meant to contain us. We hold back, play small, and dim our light because somewhere along the way we convinced ourselves or let others convince us that we weren't enough. Maybe it was out of fear, maybe out of doubt, or maybe out of a deep-rooted belief that if we step into our full potential, would have rejected or even abandoned. But here's the truth, playing small doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve the world. You weren't created to blend into the background or live a life of mediocrity. Deep down, you know this. You feel it in those quiet moments when you dream of a bigger life, when you imagine yourself doing things that scare you and inspire you all at once. But then that voice creeps in, the one that says, who do you think you are to dream like that? That voice is the enemy of your purpose, and every time you listen to it, you shrink a little more. Playing small isn't just about keeping your goals modest or avoiding risks. It's about refusing to embrace the fullness of who you are. It's about hiding your gifts because you're afraid of what others might think. It's about staying silent when you should speak up. It's about holding back when you know you have more to give. It's about settling for less because reaching for more feels too uncomfortable or uncertain. But let me ask you this, what's the cost of playing small? What opportunities have you missed because you were too afraid to step up? What dreams have you let die because you convinced yourself they were out of reach? What impact have you withheld from the world because you didn't think you were ready or worthy or capable? The cost of playing small isn't just personal, it's collective. When you play small, you rob the people around you of the gifts you were meant to share. You rob the world of the difference you were meant to make. Your voice, your talents, your ideas, they matter. But if you keep hiding them, if you keep shrinking back, they'll never reach the people who need them most. Playing small often feels like the safer choice, but safety is an illusion. There's no safety in shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's expectations. There's no safety in denying your dreams just to avoid the discomfort of failure. And there's certainly no safety in living a life that doesn't align with your purpose. The truth is, the real risk isn't in going after what you want, it's in staying where you are. Every time you choose to play small, you're saying no to yourself. You're saying no to the future you've imagined, to the life you deserve, and to the person you were created to be. And for what? To avoid discomfort, to make other people feel more comfortable, to fit into a mold that was never designed for you in the first place. You weren't created to live in the shadows. You were created to shine, to stand out, to take up space. That doesn't mean you have to be loud or extroverted or someone you're not. It means being unapologetically yourself. It means stepping into your gifts and owning them fully. It means taking risks even when they scare you. It means showing up for yourself every single day, even when it's hard. But stepping out of the smallness you've been living in isn't easy. It requires courage. It requires faith. It requires you to believe in yourself even when others don't. And it requires you to let go of the things that have been holding you back, the fear, the doubt, the opinions of others, and the need for approval. Sometimes playing small feels like the only option because you've been doing it for so long. It's comfortable, even if it's not fulfilling. But comfort is a trap. It keeps you stuck in a place that feels safe but isn't truly satisfying. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. And if you want to stop playing small, you have to be willing to step into the unknown. The unknown is scary, yes, but it's also where possibility lies. It's where your dreams are waiting for you. It's where you discover just how capable you are. And every time you take a step into that space, you grow stronger, braver, and more confident. Playing small is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. It starts with a decision to stop settling, to stop holding back, to stop letting fear dictate your choices. It starts with a commitment to show up fully, even when it's uncomfortable. And it starts with a belief that you are worthy of the life you've been dreaming of. When you stop playing small, you give yourself permission to be seen, to be heard, to be known. You stop waiting for someone else to validate your dreams and start validating them yourself. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it. And you stop worrying about what other people think and start focusing on what you think, what you want, and what you're capable of. The world doesn't need more people playing small. It needs people who are willing to dream big, take risks, and live boldly. It needs people who are willing to fail because failure is a part of growth. It needs people who are willing to step into their purpose even when it's scary, even when it's uncertain, and even when it feels impossible. You were created for more than a life of smallness. You were created to live boldly, to dream fearlessly, and to make an impact. But that can only happen if you stop playing small. It can only happen if you decide right here and now that you're done shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. So take up space, speak your truth, pursue your dreams, step into your purpose, and stop playing small because the world needs you at your full size. Not a watered down version of you, not a smaller version of you, the full, authentic, unstoppable you. You were created for greatness. It's time to start living like it. There's a part of you that wants to believe in everything and everyone. It's a beautiful thing, this desire to give, to trust, to hope. But when you keep giving your heart away to things that break it, that beauty becomes a burden. There's only so much your heart can take before it starts to feel heavy, worn, and fragile. And yet we do it. Again and again, we give our hearts away to people, situations, and habits that were never meant to hold them. You might think it's love, but love doesn't leave you feeling empty. Love doesn't make you question your worth or force you to beg for scraps of affection. Love doesn't ask you to lose yourself to keep someone else happy. When you give your heart to the wrong people, or the wrong things, it's not love, it's self-sabotage disguised devotion. It's easy to fall into this cycle because it often starts with good intentions. You want to be kind. You want to believe the best in people. You want to fix things, save things, or prove that you're enough to make it all work. But somewhere along the way, your good intentions get twisted and you end up pouring yourself out for things that can't pour back into you. Giving your heart away doesn't just happen in relationships. It happens when you tie your self-worth to things that were never meant to define you. Maybe it's a career that drains you, a dream that no longer fits who you've become, or a habit that feels comforting in the moment but leaves you empty in the end. These things take from you. And you keep giving because you've convinced yourself that the pain is just part of the process. But let me tell you something, your heart is too precious to waste on things that don't value it. It's too valuable to be tossed around, too strong to be broken repeatedly, and too vital to be given away carelessly. You have to stop giving your heart to things that don't know how to hold it. You might think you're being strong by holding on, but real strength is in letting go. Real strength is in recognizing when something isn't good for you and choosing to walk away. It's in setting boundaries, saying no, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Strength is understanding that not everyone and everything deserves access to your heart. The truth is, some people don't know how to handle the kind of love and loyalty you offer. That's not your fault. And it's not your job to teach them. It's your job to protect your heart, to be discerning about where and with whom you place it. Because when you give it away too freely, you lose pieces of yourself in the process. There's a difference between sacrifice and self-destruction, and too often we confuse the two. Sacrifice is giving something up for a greater purpose, for something that brings life and meaning. Self-destruction is giving up pieces of yourself for something that leaves you feeling less than whole. Sometimes we give our hearts to the wrong things because we're afraid of what will happen if we don't. We're afraid of being alone, of starting over, facing the unknown. We think if I just hold on a little longer, maybe it'll get better. But holding on to something that's breaking you isn't strength, it's fear disguised as hope. You deserve more than that. You deserve relationships that build you up, dreams that inspire you, and habits that nourish your soul. You deserve to feel valued, appreciated, and loved, not just occasionally, but consistently. And if you're not getting that, it's time to stop giving your heart to things that can't give it back. Letting go is hard, especially when you've invested so much of yourself into something. It feels like you're losing a part of yourself, like you're admitting defeat. But letting go isn't losing, it's choosing. It's choosing to prioritize your well-being over your attachment. It's choosing to believe that there's something better for you on the other side. And there is, but you'll never find it if you keep clinging to the things that break you. You'll never find it if you keep giving your heart to people who don't value it or situations that don't serve you. You'll never find it if you keep pouring yourself into things that leave you empty. Your heart is not a disposable thing. It's the core of who you are, the source of your love, your passion, and your purpose. It's where your dreams live, where your strength comes from, and where your joy is born. Treat it with care, because when you do, it has the power to create incredible things. When you stop giving your heart away to things that break it, you create space for the things that heal it. You open yourself up to relationships that uplift you, opportunities that excite you, and habits that bring you peace. You start to see your worth not as something to be proven, but as something to be cherished. It's not selfish to protect your heart, it's necessary. It's not weak to walk away from things that hurt you, it's brave. And it's not wrong to put yourself first, it's essential. Because when you take care of your heart, you're not just taking care of yourself, you're taking care of everyone around you. A whole healthy heart has the power to love deeply, to generously, and to live fully. So stop giving your heart away to things that break it. Stop pouring your love, time, and energy into things that don't pour back into you. Stop settling for less than what you deserve because you're afraid of what might happen if you let go. Instead, choose to value yourself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't value you. Choose to believe that you're worthy of love, joy, and fulfillment. Choose to protect your heart, not out of fear, but out of love for yourself. You are worthy of so much more than a life spent breaking your own heart for the sake of things that don't deserve it. You are worthy of peace, of happiness, of love that fills you instead of draining you. And the moment you stop giving your heart to things that break it, you'll start to see just how much you're capable of. Your heart is not a thing to be given away lightly. It's a gift, a treasure, and a source of endless potential. Treat it as such. Guard it, protect it, and give it only to the things that deserve it. Because when you do, you'll find a life that doesn't just feel good, but one that feels right. Walking in your power means stepping into the fullness of who you are, unapologetically owning your strengths, and living your life with purpose and intention. It's not about perfection or having everything figured out. It's about recognizing the potential within you and deciding to move forward with confidence, even when the path feels uncertain. For far too long, many of us have allowed fear, doubt, and insecurity to hold us back. We've second-guessed ourselves, deferred to others, and played it safe, convincing ourselves that we're not ready, not worthy, or not capable. But here's the truth. The power you're searching for has been inside you all along. It's not something you need to earn or prove. It's something you need to embrace. Walking in your power starts with knowing who you are. That means getting real with yourself about your strengths, your weaknesses, and your purpose. It's about peeling back the layers of who the world has told you to be and reconnecting with who you were created to be. This isn't always an easy process because it requires honesty, vulnerability, and sometimes facing parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. But the more you know yourself, the more you can own your power. Owning your power also means taking responsibility for your life. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond. You have the power to choose your attitude, your actions, and your mindset. You have the power to turn setbacks into lessons and failures into stepping stones. When you take ownership of your life, you stop waiting for someone else to save you, validate you, or give you permission to be great. You realize that you already have everything you need to start living the life you want. But walking in your power isn't just about you, it's about how you show up in the world. It's about using your gifts to make a difference, to inspire others, and to create positive change. When you walk in your power, you stop playing small. You stop hiding your light out of fear of outshining others. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Instead, you step into the fullness of who you are and let your light shine, knowing that by doing so, you give others permission to do the same. Walking in your power also means setting boundaries. It means saying no to things that drain you, disrespect you, or pull you away from your purpose. It means protecting your time, energy, and mental health, even if it means disappointing others. Boundaries aren't about being selfish. They're about being clear on what you need to thrive and unapologetically prioritizing those needs. Fear will try to keep you from walking in your power. It will whisper lies in your ear, telling you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you'll fail. But fear is a liar, and the only way to silence it is to move forward anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action in spite of it. The more you step out of your comfort zone, the more your confidence will grow, and the quieter those fears will become. It's important to remember that walking in your power doesn't mean you'll never stumble. You will. You'll make mistakes, face challenges, and have moments of doubt. But walking in your power means not letting those moments define you. It means getting back up, learning from your experiences, and continuing to move forward. As you walk in your power, you'll inspire others to do the same. Your confidence, courage, and authenticity will create a ripple effect, encouraging those around you to step into their own power. You'll become a source of light and strength, not because you have all the answers, but because you're willing to show up as your true self and live with intention. Walking in your power is a journey, not a destination. It's a daily choice to show up for yourself, to own your truth, and to live with purpose. It's about progress, not perfection. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, other days you'll feel unsure. But as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep choosing to walk in your power, you're on the right path. The world needs you to walk in your power. It needs your voice, your ideas, your courage, and your light. It needs you to step into the fullness of who you are and show others what's possible when you do. So stop waiting for the perfect moment or for someone else to give you permission. The time to start walking in your power is now. Take a step, own your gifts, speak your truth, set your boundaries, face your fears, and walk in your power knowing that you are enough, that you are capable, and that you were created for greatness. The journey won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it.